Hi, this is Gary. Welcome to today's video. So today we're going to be taking a look at the contents of this box. I'm going to split this over 3 videos. Today's video we're going to look at the inks and a couple of the accessories that are inside the box. In the following 2 videos we'll look at 2 different fountain pens that I've also got in here. So join me now down on the mat. Let's start to take a look at those gorgeous inks that I've recently ordered. So here we are down on the mat. Let's start by taking a look at the inks. Most of these, they're themed around Christmas colours, as my wife wants to use them when she's making her Christmas cards. So the first one, in a bag all on its own, is this, by Diamine, and it's Diamine Delaware Green. Joining that, Diamine Ruby, Diamine Wild Strawberry, Diamine Woodland Green, Diamine Classic Red. Bit of a theme going on so far, isn't there? And then Colt Pens Little Chris. Now this is an iridescent ink, but strange enough, it's made by Diamine. And then to round it all off, we've got Diamine Beethoven. And just because we don't want to be boring, Pelikan 4001 Brilliant Red. And wrapping it all up, Pelikan Edelstein Ink Collection Garnet. So quite a different range there of reds and greens to look at. The other things that I've got in here, I've got one parallel pen. This is 1.5mm. I've got another parallel pen, again 1.5mm. Joining that, I've got a 2.4mm parallel pen and a 3.8mm one. Again, these are all for my wife, so she can use them to draw borders with. And we've got a wide variety of different sizes there, and because we thought she'd want the thinner line more often, that's why we've got 2, so that they can have different colours in them. To go with each of these, we've got a Con 40. There we go. Oh, I'm being really messy today. Let's pop them down there. We don't want to sit on the top. So yeah, 4 Con 40 converters. Wrapping up the items that I ordered is this. This is a packet of 10 blotting papers. I really like to have blotting papers. They're really handy. They're difficult to get hold of. So every time I see them, I order myself a packet. So they had some in, so I thought, yep, I'm having a packet of that. The final thing that we're just going to take a look at is this was a freebie, and it's a pencil. Just position that so we can see it. So there we've got Colt pens, and what I liked about this on the other side, this is a pencil. I think that's brilliant. I can't tell you how many years it is since I last used a pencil. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to try that out. I'm going to clear all this off now. I'm going to step away and I'm going to swatch the inks. When I come back, we'll take a look at the swatches and I'll give you my thoughts on them. So we'll start by taking a look at the greens. We've got Diamine Beethoven, Diamine Delaware Green, and Diamine Woodland Green. I personally like them all, but we've got to bear in mind these are for Christmassy colours. So when I look at this, I'm thinking Beethoven, bit too dark. The Delaware Green, I'm really on the fence with that. I like it, but again, it may be just slightly too dark. But the Woodland Green, I think that's brilliant. I think that's going to look really nice on a Christmas card. To me, it is what it says. It reminds me of walking through a forest. Looks really nice. Just so I've got some comparisons, I've got Lamy Peridot, and yes, I know I was a scruffy devil at the time, and I've also got Diamine Sherwood Green. I'm surprised at the difference between the Woodland Green and the Sherwood Green. I don't know, I've got it in my mind they're both foresty type colours, so I would have expected them to be closer, but I think there's actually quite a big difference. If anything, I would say this Sherwood Green is closer in colour to the Delaware Green. Doesn't mean I don't like it, it's just, you know, when you get that thought into your head of what something's going to look like, and when you see it in reality, it's completely different. That's what I'm seeing here. The Peridot, to me, is between the Beethoven and the Delaware green. Still a nice shade. I haven't had the Peridot in a pen yet, so I can't say what it really writes like. The Sherwood green is in one of my current pens and I love the colour. I love writing with it. It's a really nice green when you see it on paper. So that's the greens. We'll now take a look at the reds. So we've got here Diamine Classic Red, Diamine Ruby, Diamine Wild Strawberry, Pelikan 4001 Brilliant Red, and Pelikan Edelstein Garnet. I was surprised by the colour of the Pelikan Brilliant Red. To me, it's an orange, not a red. I would struggle if I was challenged to say it's red. It really does look to me like it's the colour of an orange skin. Now, it could be maybe I didn't agitate the bottle enough, so maybe that's something I need to try at a later time, is giving that bottle a really good shake. But I can't see it making much of a difference. So yeah, can't really see my wife using much of that, but she might do because, again, it's an orange colour and, quite often you may get an orange as a stocking stuffer, one of those nice edible stocking stuffers. So other thoughts on these colours. The Classic Red and the Ruby, they actually look quite similar to me. Maybe the Classic Red just a little tiny bit darker, but very, very similar shade. Wild Strawberry, I like it. I really do. I think that's a nice colour and I think that will look nice on some Christmas cards. It's got the vibrancy to it. It certainly went down well. It really did. Pelikan Edelstein Garnet, again to me, is very similar to the Wild Strawberry. Maybe it's a little bit, I don't want to say duller, but not as bright. But again, I think it's going to look nice on some Christmas cards. So to compare these against, I've got Robert Oster Rubin, Pen BBS Chengdu City, Pen BBS Christmas Red, had to pull that out, and Robert Oster Santa's Hangover, again, just had to pull that one out, just for the name of it, if for nothing else. The Christmas Red, yeah, it really does remind me of the Wild Strawberry and the Garnet. Chengdu City, I'm not sure. Again, it's got some of the tones of the Garnet and the Wild Strawberry. Rubin, nice and bright, again, reminds me a lot of the Wild Strawberry. Not so much though to the Garnet from that one. Santa's Hangover doesn't really match any of them, and to be honest, it's not really bright enough as a Christmas colour. It is what it says. It looks like it's a red with a hangover. I think it's a brilliant name for an ink, I really do. And that, for me, is one of the reasons for me to buy inks sometimes. It's not so much the colour, it's just the name. Because, there are some awesome names out there. We'll take a look at the last ink. So this ink, it wasn't bought for the wife, it was bought for Gary. And that is Colt Pen's Little Chris. This is a really nice ink. So much so that once I'd swatched it, once I saw it, I went online before finishing my recording and I've ordered the other 4 inks that are in this line. It's an iridescent ink. So we've got this gorgeous red sheen coming through. Hopefully that comes over on the camera. I think I may have gone a little bit overboard with the ink on there, but that's really nice. Just look at that red. I love looking at that. Can't wait to get this into a pen. The base colour here, you can only just see it because, as I say, I think I went a bit over the top, but it's like a blue-black colour. So when I was going through for a comparison, the nearest I've got to that is Robert Oster Great Southern Ocean. So this, again, to me, it's got that dark blue, so it's blue tending towards the dark grey. Great Southern Ocean, it does what it says. When I see that, when I see the Great Southern Ocean, the colour in that does really fetch out the colour of water. So when I look on here, I do see that blue on the Colt Pens ink. Very, very similar. The other ink I've pulled out is Diamine Oxford Blue. Again, to my eye, this has got a little bit of that red tinge to it. So it's definitely a blue. It's not the same blue-black as the Great Southern Ocean or the Little Chris, but it does have that little bit of a sheen to it. I'll fetch out all the inks for one final look. We've got Diamine Beethoven, Diamine Delaware Green, Diamine Woodland Green, Diamine Classic Red, Diamine Ruby, Diamine Wild Strawberry, Pelikan 4001 Brilliant Red, Pelikan Edelstein Garnet, and finally Colt Pens Little Chris. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. What are your thoughts on these inks? Do you think that they're Christmassy enough? Are there any other inks you can suggest that it might be worth my wife trying? Please drop a comment down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit that thumbs up button, give the video a like. Remember, every time you like, every time you comment, it just helps to feed that YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.